Welcome back to Vintage Cars Ireland everyone, and today we have a very exciting project in store. I'm going to be working on this Peugeot 106 GTI this week, and we're going to be taking a break from the Mazda. As you can see, pretty much everything has been stripped off the car during COVID, including the engine. So today we're going to aim to get the engine mounted back into the car, get the front drive shafts installed and lower the car back onto the ground for the first time in 2 years. The story behind this car is that the owner dailied it for a few years, but over time it began to rust and the paint work needed to be done. It was given to a local panel beater that did a fantastic job restoring this car and gave it a full respray. Since then, however, the car unfortunately sat up untouched as the owner had to move away again for work after COVID. This is why the car does have a little bit of a garden growing on the side of it. Everything the car needs is either in the car itself or it's in storage inside our garage. The rear axle, which is a common fault in these cars, has been fully refurbished, so a lot of time and effort has gone into this car up to now. I really can't look at the car anymore the way it is, so we're going to try and get the car back onto the ground for the first time in over a year and give it the attention that it deserves. Very conveniently, I also happen to daily the same car, which you may have seen in one of my previous videos. This is a massive advantage when you're taking on this type of project, as you do forget where certain bits and pieces go over time, such as various bolts, sensors, wiring or brake lines. Now I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up to get the engine back into the car. As you can see, our bay engine is on the crane ready to be placed into the engine bay. This engine does need a little bit of cleaning and work, but this can all be done at a later stage. There's so many new parts ready to bolt onto the car, such as these new drive shafts, which I do believe is another issue with these cars if you drive very spiritedly. First things first, get the engine into the car. Now I really would recommend that you either buy or hire an engine crane if you are going to take on a job like this. This is my fourth time installing an engine, and I don't know how I would have gotten any of them in without one of these cranes, as it's not just as simple as placing the engine in there and bolting everything up. There's quite a lot of adjusting and repositioning that goes on throughout the installation. Part of the gearbox needs to go up through the battery tray of this car, or making sure that your engine doesn't hit off your lovely new paintwork. So you will see a lot of this happening throughout this part of the video, where we're adjusting and constantly changing the angle of the engine. After spending a lot of time making sure everything lined up correctly, I bolted everything up with my impact gun, but you can use a normal ratchet if you don't have one. And finally, it was time to celebrate as we'd finally gotten the engine back into the car. The engine definitely does need a bit of TLC, but some degreaser and installing all of the new parts like the alternator, timing belt kit and the 421 manifold, all of these things will make that engine look a bit nicer. Now after all that, it was time to get the new drive shafts in. As you can see, the suspension is lovely and rusty, so we're going to have to give it some extra persuasion to take it apart. These parts need to be moved out of the way for the new drive shaft. What you actually look at here is half a drive shaft, because this one actually split apart. You need to remove the drive shaft and the mount holding it to the engine, as these become pretty fused over time. It all comes out pretty easily, and now it's time for the fun part. As I said, these two parts become pretty fused together and need some gentle persuasion to be pried apart. Before you install the new drive shaft, make sure that you clean up the old mount, as it will be needed again. It did take quite a bit of time to get everything bolted back up as there's such poor access in this area. I got there eventually and it's time to put on the wheels and to get the car back onto the ground. This is a pretty big milestone to get the car at this stage, and hopefully it won't take too much longer to get it back onto the road. I do hope that you all enjoyed watching this video, and if you are interested, please like and subscribe as we will be uploading more videos on this car in the future. Thanks everyone, and see you in the next video.